If you could be lifted out of the flock as your idol's chosen one, the only one who could decipher his secret messages, what lengths would you go to save the object of your obsession in Night Springs?
Night Springs is the first DLC released for one of my favorite games of 2023, Alan Wake 2. At this point, Remedy Games have become one of the best developers in the industry and one of my favorites. Night Springs sees Remedy flexing their creative muscles with 3 what-if storylines set in the Night Springs TV show world. In the original Alan Wake, there would be TVs scattered across the levels with episodes of Night Springs playing, and it would act as sort of the collectible for the game. This time, you find yourself playing in the actual episodes of the show. The DLC is split into 3 episodes starring a different hero for each episode. And because each episode is only like 30 minutes long, I will be spoiling stuff that happens in each episode, and the footage will be spoiling stuff too. So if you haven't played it, maybe play it first and then come back and watch it. Or if you don't care about it,
I found
watch
the
the
creek.
video.
So, where's the energy node?
Tonight's cult classic episode, number 1 fan.
The first episode kicks off with you in the shoes of Rose, the waitress at the Oh Dear Diner in Bright Falls. In the DLC, it's Night Springs, but it's still the same town from the base game, just renamed Night Springs. The episode kicks off with Rose filling cups of coffee and clearing tables of food, all while giving advice out to the patrons of the diner. She then goes to the storage room to retrieve an Alan Wake fan fiction book that she wrote for a customer, when suddenly a fish on the wall starts talking and you realize it's Alan Wake's voice and he is calling for your help. Rose leaps to action and heads straight to her gun stash in the kitchen of the diner because, of course, she has her own armory at her place of work. You leave the diner and embark on a running gun, shotgun killing spree as you obliterate all of Alan Wake's haters. You run into Alan Wake's twin brother, who may or may not be Scratch in this story. After shooting your way through endless waves of haters, you finally reach Alan as true love prevails. Episode 1 is a blast. Definitely feels like it's the most what-if story of the 3. And I don't ever expect to get any sort of follow-up to this. I really enjoyed the gameplay, though, of this chapter because it was completely different from Alan Wake 2. You know, the game, this chapter starts off during the day, so you don't have to shine a light on any of the enemies, you just shoot them. So it's a refreshing change of pace from the base game. Episode 2 was my most anticipated episode to play because this episode sees us take control, pun intended, of Jesse Faden from the game Control. Surprisingly, this was the chapter that plays the most like Alan Wake 2, as you are using a pistol and flashlight to deal with the enemies instead of the service weapon and her superpower abilities that she has in Control. Jessie arrives at Coffee World looking for her missing brother and runs into Sheriff Breaker from Alan Wake 2, as he is also investigating what's going on at Coffee World. You need to get into the warehouse to find Jessie's brother. You got to go and find various items to gain access to the warehouse. You finally get inside of the warehouse and discover that Sheriff Breaker has joined the cult and wants you to join. The episode ends with Jessie not finding her brother, but instead finding Alan or Scratch trapped in one of the containment cells from Control. I enjoyed this episode, but I do think that it was a missed opportunity to not have Jessie using her powers from Control. But they would have had to completely rework the gameplay, so I understand why they didn't.
Hello, sister. I would like to tell you about a dream I had.
Finally, we get to the final episode, Timebreaker. This is the most meta of all the episodes, as you play as real-life actor Shawn Ashmore, who plays Officer Tim Breaker in Alan Wake 2, as he is reprising his role in a new video game being directed by the real-life director at Remedy Games, Sam Lake. Sam Lake gives a rundown of the game's multiversal plot as he sends you to the Green Room as you come upon a dead variant of Tim Breaker that was killed by Mr. Door, the big bad villain of this game. Door is hunting down all of the Tim Breakers, as you have no idea if this is part of the game's script or if Door is actually traveling through the multiverse killing every version of you. Jessie Faden returns as she tries to help you defeat Door. This chapter doesn't have much combat as you journey through different areas of Alan Wake 2's story, including the Ocean View Hotel. The gameplay gets really creative once you get transported into a 2D side-scroller shooter, and then the game turns into a comic book as it tells its story, and it's all a ton of fun. The episode ends with you going through an empty landscape with a few enemies to kill, and then you get a choose your own adventure style text ending to the story. I played through the DLC twice, so I got to experience 2 different endings, but it seems like there could be many more endings. Episode 3 was definitely the most memorable of the 3. Overall, I really enjoyed this DLC. The way Remedy tells their stories in creative and unique ways is really awesome, and I was blown away by the visuals. Some of the camera shots are pure eye candy, and they just continue to create perfect atmospheres in their games. I cannot wait for the second DLC, The Lake House, which figures to be more focused on continuing the story from Alan Wake 2 and possibly Control.
I have a shotgun.
Well, I gotta... Wait, that's a real shotgun? Okay, I admit, I didn't expect that. But it doesn't matter. You can't stop all of us.